Breaking the stigma of suicide. When 5 students from one school district died in just 4 months recently, their families vowed to save other kids.
So their call to action is working. What started in Boone County has now spread down to Gallatin County. And one teenager is proof. Kids who feel broken inside can be saved.
For weeks, Heather Nungaray's son, Isaiah, was carrying around a dark secret.
He said, "Mom, I had it all planned out. You was sleeping, the whole house was sleeping. I was going to write my note and do my thing."
I was considering to really just go away at that moment.
Isaiah is just 16, but the last few years have been tough. His parents got divorced, his grandparents died, and then
Kentucky State Police are investigating after an 18-year-old was killed in a head-on crash Saturday night.
the first friend Isaiah made when he moved to Gallatin County High School, the upperclassman who welcomed him onto the football team and became his best friend, died in a car crash.
Ever since that day, it was just the lowest of lows.
Heather knew her son had battled depression the last couple of years, but never did she think he was planning to hurt himself.
It was scary, very scary. Just as a mom, I know my kids in and out, like the back of my hand.
I have a bunch of friends. I have the football team, and I have my mom and my stepdad that I can talk to. I didn't really want to be a burden to them because they have their lives going on.
I felt like I had failed him as his mom to not catch those signs that he was even thinking about.
But then a phone call changed everything.
One of my friends called me and said, "Hey, we got something going on tonight at the Prickle Barn. It's plainly just for teenagers if you want to come."
Isaiah had no idea this teenage gathering was actually a prayer service to talk about teenage suicide. Isaiah was in the front row with tears rolling down his face. He says that message from above saved his life.
In that moment, I just started crying like I couldn't hold nothing back. I'm thinking like the Lord is telling me something.
As scary as those thoughts were, as terrifying as it is for this mom to even think about,
I still stay up at night until he's asleep, and I know he's asleep.
they hope maybe their story can save another young person.
I am thankful for that prayer service because if it wasn't for that prayer service, I very well probably wouldn't have my child because he was right there on that line.
I do fear there's other kids like me, and I want to come on here and tell them that they're not alone.
He is so courageous to share such a dark secret. By the way, at a recent event to raise awareness about suicide, Isaiah got up on stage in front of a packed house and shared his story with all of those teenagers and audience members. So he really, so many people don't want to talk about it. They think that's going to solve the problem. He wants to shout it from the rooftops.
To me, that's sad. There are people in the community who give us pushback. We're not all about glorifying suicide. We're about giving parents warning signs. We're talking about outlets for kids. The only way to tackle something this heavy is to talk about it, and that's what we're encouraging with this story.
100%, and that's what all of these parents who have sadly lost kids say. We have, none of them saw this coming.